Hey y'all, you know what time it is? Woo! Get into it! Get into it! Yes! We are back! We're back, darlings, for Kiki's delivery service. Ooh, gotta put my hand behind the product. Yes, we are back. I hope everybody's having a great Monday, because today has been quite lovely, if I do say so myself. Oh wow, we are going to be reading today. Ooh, okay, that's fine. We just had to get through the prologue portion. Excuse me. Also, shout out to Dark Star Bookstore here in Yellow Springs. If you ever are visiting, please check them out, as well as Superfly Comics. They are both amazing. They provide amazing material when it comes to comics, manga, novels, self-help books, biographies, anything you could think of. They're two amazing stores. Please check them out. Oh my gosh. Today's been a good day. Today has been a better day than it was yesterday. And yesterday wasn't bad. It just... life tends to throw you curveballs, and one has to have the ability to channel and adjust. Whoever is watching, I can't see who it is, but I appreciate you. Make sure I turn down my notifications, because we don't want no interruptions. Okay. Make sure my glasses is... oh gosh. Typical. Glasses are never clean. And somebody... hey, huh? Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. My glasses are never clean. And somebody tried to ask me, they're like, why don't you just do contacts? First of all, I'm clumsy. I definitely would poke my eye out. Two, contacts, I don't think they would do me justice. Like, I love my glasses. I love them because it's old school, and I love you too, sweetie. Thank you. I appreciate you. Glasses are old school, and one of my favorite superheroes, which he's the #1 superhero in my life, that's my favorite, Superman. Clark Kent in his persona, which, spoiler alert, in the current scheme of comics, Superman no longer has a secret identity, because 2 years ago now, he revealed to the world that he was Clark Kent in the comics. So, lots of repercussions and ripples from that event. But we're since past that. Anyway, you did not come here to hear me blather. You've come to hear me read. And no, I do not own the music that you are listening to in the background, which is brought to you by Elvenshine Enchanted Forest at 528 hertz, which is good. High frequency music is good for you, y'all. Like, I don't talk about it often on here. I mean, I talk amongst it with my friends and stuff, but like, it just calms the mind and spirit, like gets all of the chakras together and gets you together for the day. So, vibe out a little bit, and we shall begin. Kiki lands in a big city. Every evening the moon grew bigger and bigger, until the night it was finally full. Kiki's coming of age day had arrived. Hold on, because I think I might, y'all, hold on one second, because I think I might have skipped a chapter. Yeah, we are going to be breezing through this if I go by that length. Forgive me, y'all. My apologies. Okay. So I get, wow, it's going to be chunky. Every evening, the moon grew bigger and bigger, until the night it was finally full. Kiki's coming-of-age day had arrived. That evening, when the sun started sinking in the west, Kiki put on the black dress her mother had made for her. She turned this way and that in the mirror, making it a whole production, as you should. Gigi, by her feet wasn't about to be left out. He peeked into the mirror from the side, then stretched and curled his body. Soon they were both astride Kokori's broom, posing in profile. Okay, you two, have you primed enough? Kokiri called to them as she bustled around. Have a look at the western sky. There's barely any sunset left. Mom, can you make that skirt just a little shorter? Kiki asked, hiking it up and standing on her tiptoes. Why? It looks good on you. I think it would be cuter if you could actually see my feet. This way is much more graceful. It's better to look mild-mannered. Of course, some people complain about witches no matter what you do. Now then, here's your lunch. Kokiri patted Kiki's shoulder and set a little bundle down next to her. I used herbs so it won't go bad as fast. Don't eat it all in one place. I remember my mom did a great job making my coming-of-age lunch. She cast some spells on the herbs in the bread that kept it from going bad or even stale. It's a shame we don't know how to do that anymore. That seems like a sort of thing that would be easy to pass on, though, Okino chimed in, coming in from his study with the book in his hand. I wonder why it disappeared. Maybe that's just the nature of magic. It's strange that I'm a witch and even I don't know. Some say it's because there's no such thing as a completely dark night or perfect silence anymore. If there's a light on, or if even there's a tiny noise, we get distracted and can't get our magic to work. Certainly compared to ancient times, it's gotten a lot brighter, Okino said. Nowadays, there's always a light on somewhere. Yes, the world sure has changed, Kokiri nodded. But Kiki, looking in the mirror, had a different idea. You think that's why? Kiki turned around with a dissatisfied frown. I don't think it's the world's fault that magic has disappeared. Maybe people hold themselves back too much. Mom, aren't you always saying that witches must be quiet and modest? I hate the idea of living my life constantly worrying about what people will say. I'm going to do whatever I want. Oh, that's a declaration. Okino's eyes widened dramatically. Listen, Kiki, Kokiri said. In the past, it wasn't just us witches. All sorts of people had mysterious powers. But most regular people connected these gifts to bad things in their heads. They believed our powers would bring terrible luck. That could be true, Okino nodded thoughtfully. It was. You always heard about witches made mold grow in fresh milk, but that was simply a way to make a special kind of cheese. And now look, today everyone eats the same cheese. Witches were able to survive in that sort of world because we forged a give-and-take relationship with everyone else. Sometimes we hold back, but we also help each other out however we can. I think it was a good thing. Because of this, there are even people like your dad who research witches and fairies to gain a better understanding of us. Was that a compliment? What an honor. Okino jokingly bowed. Oh my goodness, it's pitch dark outside. Kokiri stood up and clapped her hands. The moon will be out soon. We need to hurry up and eat. No more time for these complicated conversations. Full moon nights are bright, Okino said, so they should be good for leaving on a journey. But according to my research, the data only shows a 50-50 chance of rain on days witches have come of age. That's just the luck of the draw. Tonight seems likely it'll be fine. The air is so clear. Kiki, are you really ready to go? Skillfully evading Okino's grumbles, Kokiri began to bustle around the room again. I hope you find somewhere nice to live. Okino looked Kiki in the eye. But Kiki, you can't get impatient and settle without giving your choice proper thought, Kokiri called. I know! All you guys do is worry! It's not as if she's going to another planet, Okino said, trying to cheer both Kokiri and Kiki up. It's just a different town, and after a year, excuse me, you can come back home from a celebratory visit. Kokiri stood before Kiki again with a serious expression on her face. Kiki, I know I'm harping on this, but please choose your town carefully. Think twice about picking one that seems nice just because it's lively or has a lots of shops. Big cities are often full of busy people who don't have time to care about anyone else. And when you arrive, don't be shy. Make sure to smile. You have to gain people's trust. I know, Mom. I'll be fine. Don't worry. Kiki nodded repeatedly, then turned to Okino. Hey, Dad!
Do you remember when you used to hold me up high? You would put up your hands under my arms and lift me up and down. Could you do it one more time?
She looked down quickly, a little embarrassed. Sure. Okito replied with an extra pep. He put his hands under her arms and tried to lift her up. Whew! You're heavy. When did you get so big? Let me try one more time. He staggered a bit but managed to raise her.
I'm up, but it tickles.
Kiki squirmed and laughed. Through the living room window, the light of the full moon poured over Mount Green in the east, just as they had expected.
I guess I should get going.
Kiki had planned on saying a proper goodbye, but all that came out was that simple line. She slung her bag over her shoulder and grabbed the broom that had been standing next to her. With her other hand, she picked up the red radio her father had brought for her. Then she looked at Gigi, who sat obediently at her feet.
Okay, say goodbye.
Gigi stood and looked up at Okito and Kokiri.
We're counting on you, Gigi,
said Kokiri. As usual, he twitched his tail in reply.
Well, Mom, I'll write a letter as soon as I get there. Yes, keep us posted.
If it doesn't go well, you can always come home, added Okito.
That's not happening, Kiki hurriedly replied. Don't start going easy on her now.
Kokiri shot a soft glare at Okito. When Okito opened the door, voices shouted, "Congrats!" came flying in. 10 townspeople were waiting at the gate. Kiki was so surprised, she didn't know what to say.
You knew she was leaving tonight?
Kokiri asked hoarsely. We can't let our little Kiki leave without saying goodbye.
And it's something to celebrate. Come back and ring the bells now and then.
Bring us stories.
Thanks, everybody.
Kiki finally managed to squeeze that much out, then lifted Gigi to hide her crumbling face.
I'm glad the weather's good,
Okito said quietly, looking up at the sky. After exchanging goodbye after goodbye, Kiki hung her radio from the front of her broom, sat Gigi on the bank, and jumped up. Once the broom was hovering, she turned around.
Take care, Mom,
she said to Kokiri from a few feet above. If she flew any closer, she knew they would both end up crying. Make sure to look where you're going! Kokiri's usual scolding voice sounded after her, followed by a burst of laughter from the townspeople. Kiki was relieved that her mother remained the same, even on this special occasion. My apologies, y'all. Whew, it's been a bit of a day. After one final goodbye, she rocketed into the air. Gradually, everyone's waving hands below grew harder to see, and all the lights of the town twinkled like a starry night turned upside down. The full moon hung up in the sky, watching over Kiki. Eventually, even the lights of the town faded, and all she could see below were mountains shaped like the dark backs of animals. Hurry up and decide which way we're going, Gigi prodded behind her. Kiki looked in all 4 directions, flustered.
South. I want to go south. I heard that if you keep going south, you'll eventually reach the sea. And I want to see the sea at least once. Is that all right with you, Gigi?
Am I allowed to say no?
Please don't, she yelled and shook the broom a bit.
Why ask me at all, Gigi huffed. Anyway, I'm begging you not to mess this up. We're looking for a town, not the sea, remember?
Yes, I understand that. Okay, south, south.
She looked up and then sighed with relief.
Got it, it's this way. The moon is on my left, so there's no mistake.
With the whistle, she accelerated, flying faster and faster. The wind blowing past her grew stronger, and the bristles of her broom sounded like a running river. Now and then she saw a scattering of lights between the dark mountains. Sometimes she came upon gray-colored fields, but that didn't happen very often. Mostly it was mountain after mountain. Kiki flew on and on. Faintly, the eastern sky began to grow lighter. Then bright lights spread rapidly, chasing the darkness away, and the world that had been gray and navy burst into all sorts of colors. The hills were carpeted in the gentle greens of spring and looked like light enough to float into the sky. Pointy, rocky mountain peaks gleamed dully. Kiki's heart pounded. She was impressed that a single ray of sun could have made the world this beautiful. In a small valley, she saw a village with trails of smoke rising from chimneys. Before long, she found a narrow stream glittering between the mountains. Sometimes it snaked out of sight before showing itself again, growing bigger and bigger as it went on.
Let's try flying along this river, she suggested. Rivers supposedly end at the sea.
Kiki flicked on her radio and whistled along to the music. Her broom was catching a favorable breeze and cruising at a nice pace.
You know, Mom was saying big cities can be hard, but I really don't want to live in a tiny town,
Kiki said to herself. What kind of town sounds good? Gigi raised his voice over the wind in the radio.
One bigger than Mom's, with tall buildings, a zoo, and a station with trains coming and going. Oh, and an amusement park. What about you, Gigi?
You're awfully greedy. As long as I have a sunny roof and a sunny bay window and a sunny hallway.
Are you cold?
Kiki interjected. Yeah, a little.
Then come over here. Don't be afraid to tell me what you need. It's just us two now,
she said, taking Gigi from where he clung to her back, putting him in her lap. Hey, Kiki, what about that town? Gigi asked after a while, abruptly poking his head out. The town directly below was shaped like a round dish and surrounded by pretty green hills. From above, the cluster of orange and green roofs looked like carrots and peas in a soup.
Seems nice,
Kiki said. This type of place is probably good to live in, you know, Gigi said, putting on a knowledgeable air.
But isn't it kind of small? Wait, look over there!
Kiki suddenly pointed with a shout. Far below was a little black dot that seemed to be coming toward them. When she took a closer look, she realized it was a witch with a black cat on her shoulder. But this witch flew in herks and jerks as if she were riding an unruly horse.
Let's go say hello!
Kiki aimed her body down. Oh! Still herking and jerking, the other witch widened her eyes when she saw Kiki. Age-wise, she could have been Kiki's big sister.
Well, it's been quite a while since I met one of my own. Where do you come from? Could it be that today is your special day?
The witch said, looking Kiki up and down. She was giving her what I knew growing up as the once over, the twice over, and maybe third time over, checking her out, seeing what she's about.
That's right! I just left last night. You could tell?
Kiki steered her broom to fly alongside her. Of course I can tell. You look so dressed up, and your face is all tense. I was just like you once.
I'm tense, huh? I thought I was pretty relaxed, but Kiki giggled. Where do you come of age?
Almost exactly a year ago.
How do you like this town?
Kiki pointed below. I'm finally used to it.
It was pretty tough.
Worried Kiki looked away. It wasn't so bad. The big sister witch shrugged proudly and dimples appeared in her cheeks. She had a kind face. Kiki remembered Kokiri's advice about smiling.
So that's the face I need.
What do you do for a living? I'm a fortune teller. With my cat Poo Poo here, I can tell how people are feeling and I have a reputation for being right. They might just be flattering me, but, well, the townspeople are friendly.
Nice. You get to go visit your parents soon, right?
Yes, that's right. I can return with my head held high, so I'm satisfied. It may not look like it, but things are hard sometimes.
I believe it. Seems like your broom is broken, too.
The big sister witch laughed. Ha! No, it's not. I'm just bad at flying. But if you don't fly every now and then, you start to forget you're a witch, and even who you are at all. Can't have that. Anyway, today I'm going to a ranch over the mountain because one of their cows is in a bad mood. That's why I'm up and about so early this morning. It's not really fortune-telling, but...
Wow, you're going to see a cow?
The trick to working as a witch is to take every job. This cow is a little strange, almost like a human. The other day she was complaining that she didn't like the sound of the bell around her neck.
Wow, how spoiled,
Kiki laughed. Maybe she's into music? Changing her bell and singing to her for a bit put her in a better mood. And the owner of this cow treats me to the most delicious cheese as a thank you. It smells so good. And when you grill it, it gets all stretchy and gooey. I'm really looking forward to having some more.
It's great that things seem to be going so well for you. I'm jealous.
You'll do fine. You're cute like me, and you seem fairly smart like me, too. Plus, you're good at fighting. You do seem a bit on the feisty side, but, well, I'm sure you'll do your best. Anyhow, I'm in a hurry, so see ya. The big sister witch waved and herked and jerked off into the distance. She was a bit braggy, Gigi said in a low voice.
But she complimented me.
Maybe, but her cat was so aloof she didn't even say hello. Just acted all smug because he's a little older.
Oh, so you wanted to talk to him, Gigi? If you felt that way, you should have said something.
Well, it's not like I wanted to, Gigi muttered.
Anyhow, I've got my own things to figure out.
Kiki speedily reversed and continued her journey. As she flew on, she passed a few towns that seemed nice. Each time Gigi would prod, "Why not make up your mind?" But Kiki insisted on going to the sea.
Just a bit farther. Only a little, she kept repeating.
Eventually there were fewer mountains and in their place more fields. Villages and towns began to appear. By this point the river was wide and flowed in big twists and turns. Kiki and Gigi's little shadow across the water looked just like a fish swimming below the surface. "Oh, isn't that the sea?" Gigi shouted. Kiki had been distracted by the view below, but when she looked up, she saw a line of light off in a distance separating the blue sky from the water.
Yes, that's the sea for sure. You noticed it right away.
"Wait, so it's just a big puddle?" Gigi seemed dissatisfied.
No, it's amazing. It's wonderful, isn't it? Kiki shouted in utter delight as she gazed as far as her eyes could see up and down the coast.
Suddenly she noticed a town right where the river emptied into the sea.
A town? Oh, look, a big bridge, she shouted again.
"Oh, a train!" Gigi exclaimed at the same time.
Let's check it out.
Kiki sped ahead on her broom. When they were closer, she realized the town was even bigger than she thought. Tall buildings, both box-shaped and triangular, jutted toward the sky. Kiki took a sweeping look around and exclaimed,
"This is the place!"
"You don't think it's too big?" Gigi seemed a little worried.
Hi, Danny. Thank you for watching. Thank you.
Shout out to Cherry Poppins, y'all. She's an amazing drag queen. Show her some love, okay? If you see her, show her the love, pass the coins, because she is mother, okay? Okay.
I like it here. Look, see that over there?
She pointed at a clock tower near the center of town. A tower so tall it seemed like a ladder to the heavens.
Wouldn't it be fun to grab that and twirl this place like a spinning top? Its shadow stretches so far. It's like the whole town is a sundial.
Kiki peered down with starry eyes. "You seem awfully excited," Gigi said, "but there could be a witch already living here like the other town before."
Well, we won't know until we land and ask.
Kiki sharply angled her broomstick down and landed lightly on one of the town roads. On the ground, the streets were bustling with afternoon shoppers. When Kiki jumped onto the cobblestones with a thud, everyone was startled. Some people seemed scared and fled, while others hid behind someone else. Soon, Kiki was surrounded by a wall of people. She hurriedly took the broom out from between her legs, placed Gigi on her shoulder, and put on a cheerful smile.
Hi, I'm Kiki. I'm a witch.
"Oh, a witch, huh?" one older woman said. "You're a rare breed these days." The woman adjusted the glasses on her nose and stared.
So there's no witch in this town? Phew. Well, as I was saying, I'm Kiki the witch. This is my black cat, Gigi. I'll make myself at home, she said as she looked around at everyone and then curtsied more carefully than usual. "Make yourself at home? You mean here in the town of Koriko?" a man chimed in. Who made that decision? A woman exclaimed. Was it the new mayor?
At this point, everyone was exchanging glances with the people next to them and chatting among themselves.
Is there anything good about having a witch around?
Isn't it kind of strange to go flying about the sky in this day and age? They say there used to be one here long ago, but we've been fine without all this time.
Mommy, witches use magic, right? Seems cool.
They do outrageous things. You'll get scared. Do you have some wicked plot? As Kiki listened to all the comments, which couldn't really be called kind, her chest tightened. Even so, she tried to be confident.
Smile, smile,
she thought. She needed to come up with a reply.
I love to live in this town. It's pretty, and I like the clock tower,
Kiki complimented them.
Well, it's great that you've taken a liking to the town, but
we don't want any trouble. Whatever floats your boat. Once everyone was satisfied, having had their say, they scattered every which way and disappeared back into the town. All Kiki's energy had disappeared, leaving her discouraged. When she had heard that the city didn't have a witch, she hoped the townspeople would find her interesting and welcome her. And now the exhaustion from flying since morning on an empty stomach hit her, and she felt like sinking into a pit. The people from Kiki's hometown were happy to live near a witch. They valued her family and even some kind things like witches are like oil from your gears, and having a witch always brings life to the town. Every day someone was stopping by offering something tasty, saying, "I just had a little extra." And naturally Kiki and her family gave back. They shared Kokiri's sneezing medicine, taught the townspeople the names of traditional herbs, played cat's cradle with elderly folks who lived alone, delivered lost and forgotten items by broom. It was a give and take lifestyle, just as Kokiri said. And that was how it had been ever since Kiki was born. So this whatever floats your boat attitude was strange. After all, Kiki was new to town and she had just come of age. How was she supposed to float her boat? It's just like Kokiri said, big towns are no good, Gigi murmured into her ear from where she was still perched on his shoulder. Kiki nodded slowly as her tears wouldn't overflow.
What should we do?
She whispered, petting Gigi. Things will work out somehow. He flicked his tail back and forth with extra energy. It was almost nighttime. Kiki still had plenty of the food from Kokiri left. She wasn't sure what to do about a place to sleep. Ooh, excuse me. Pardon me. Sorry, Even if she had money for an inn, was there a place in this town that would let her stay? Her confidence shattered, Kiki helplessly roamed the streets. Psst! Gigi abruptly shouted, trying to cheer Kiki up. Witches have gotten so wimpy in the olden days, everybody in this place would have had to watch their backs. An old-school witch would have picked the whole town up by the clock tower and stuck it up on a mountain somewhere. Kiki shrugged slightly and said nothing. She wasn't sure where they were going, but after wandering for a while, they found themselves on a narrow street. Instead of tall buildings, it was lined with little houses that seemed to lean over the road. At some point, the sun had set and the shops on either side had closed their doors. From the clinking of dishes and laughter that echoed on the other side of the windows, it sounded like dinner time. Suddenly, she heard a woman's high-pitched voice coming from the inside of a half-closed bakery. Oh, goodness, that lady forgot something awfully important. Dear, go and take this to her. Why don't you? Kiki thought perhaps the woman was talking to her and stopped, but soon after she heard a man's voice. Awfully important? What are you fussing about? It's just the baby's pacifier. It's not as if she forgot the baby. I've got a get-together tonight. I'll run it over in the morning.
But I'm telling you, that's not enough. She's a very good customer. She comes from so far away with her baby in tow to buy our butter rolls. You say it's just a pacifier, but to a baby it's important as your pipe is to you. The poor thing won't be able to sleep tonight. If you're not going, then I will. The woman, who must have been the owner of the bakery, came out from behind the door. The man shouted after her, Hey, you can't do that. Cross the big river in your condition. Kiki saw the woman had a huge tummy, like a baby might be born any minute. A rubber pacifier was clenched in her hand. Turning around, the woman called, Then are you going to go for me?
Tomorrow I will, the man replied.
Humph! She stuck her chin out. You're going to be a father soon yourself. I can't believe my baby will have to have such a grump for a dad.
After shouting at him, she gathered her protruding belly in her hands and set off walking. Her shoulders swayed back and forth and her breath came roughly. Without thinking, Kiki called after her.
Excuse me! If you don't mind me going, I'll deliver it for you.
The woman turned around and backed up a couple of steps. She gave Kiki a quick look head to toe.
You're such a young lady, but you're wearing black clothes and carrying a broom. Are you a chimney sweep? No, actually, I just came to this town and I'm a witch,
Kiki said nervously. The lady ran her eyes over Kiki again.
You don't say. Wow, a witch, huh? I've heard about them before, but it's my first time seeing one.
She heaved a sigh.
But are you pulling my leg? You must be from a theater troupe or something, right?
Kiki hurriedly shook her head.
No, I'm really a witch, so if you need something delivered, I can do it easy peasy. Please let me help you, she offered politely. A real witch, you say? Well, delivering it will be a bit of a trip. Is that all right with you? Sure, I don't mind going any distance, although if it's too far north, it's not up by the North Pole, is it? My dress isn't very warm and I don't have a cape.
The lady burst out laughing.
I think I like you, so you'll do it then? Yes, of course.
Kiki smiled and nodded, then she suddenly grew worried.
Ma'am?
Ah, don't ma'am me. The lady put her palms up to ward off the formality. I'm a baker, and the name's Osono.
Then, Mrs. Osono, I'm gonna fly it over, is that all right?
Now you're going over the top. You don't need to take an airplane.
No, I'm going to take my broom.
What? Osono cocked her head and worked her mouth open and closed until she could finally utter, This sure is a strange day. Then she shook her head and cleared and said,
You can be a witch or a scarecrow. You can fly or swim. It's all fine by me. I don't like to make things too complicated. What's important right now is delivering the pacifier. Hearing you say that puts me at ease, Kiki grinned. Gigi waved his tail charmingly about her shoulder. If that's the case, let's get this done as soon as we can. Osono said, digging around in the pocket of her apron. I'll draw you a map. Also, it's not that I don't trust you, but once you deliver it, have the baby's mother write her name on this. When you bring it back, I'll be waiting with something to thank you. Wonderful! Kiki shouted. Then she took the map and the pacifier, mounted her broom, kicked off the ground, and climbed into the sky. You really are a witch, huh? Kiki heard Osono's surprised voice at her back as she flew away. When Kiki arrived with the pacifier, the baby was wailing. Once his mother popped the pacifier in, he smiled. The baby's mother was very appreciative and signed the map at Kiki's request. You really helped me out, she said, and thanked Kiki over and over. Kiki felt incredible as she flew back to the bakery, and hearing that she had really helped, breathed new life into her discouraged heart. You know, she told Gigi, I'm feeling all right, so you can feel better too. He sniffed. Jeez, I'm starving all of a sudden. Me too. Kiki reached out and patted Gigi's stomach as they continued on her broom. Once this errand is done, let's go find a tree to sit under and eat the lunch Mom packed for us. But only a little. We have to make it last. I'm glad the moon is shining so bright tonight. Osono the baker was still standing in the same place Kiki left her, looking up at the sky with her mouth hanging open. Once Kiki quietly landed, Osono blurted, Free flying really is handy, huh? Will you please teach me how? That's impossible. If you don't have witch blood in you, you won't be able to fly. Oh, Osono said disappointingly. But we don't know for sure that I don't. What do you think? Do I look part witch? She let her belly go, then spread her arms and flapped like bird wings. Kiki looked away and laughed a little. As I thought, it seems you're not a witch. As you thought? How can you tell? I just can't, I suppose. Well, that's no fun, but you're right, it's probably impossible. I never heard anything about my grandma or any great-grandmas being witches. Anyway, how was the baby? Kiki handed her the map with the woman's signature. He was crying, but I cheered him up right away. It made me happy, too. That's great. Okay then, Miss Witch, I need to thank you. Please, call me Kiki. I don't need anything in return. I'm happy to have met someone so nice. That's more than enough. Like I said, I just arrived in town. My, how humble, Osono said. Well, I'm sorry I only have the things that didn't sell today, but... She handed a bag holding 5 butter rolls. Ooh, they look delicious. I'm happy to take them, Kiki said breathlessly. She gave a polite curtsy and turned to go. Hey, Miss Witch, your name is Kiki, you said. You just got to this town, right? Where are you staying? Kiki turned around, cuddling Gigi, and lowered her eyes. Surely you have somewhere to stay, Osono demanded. Kiki remained silent. What? You have to speak up about things like that. In that case, use the 2nd floor of our flower house. It's small, but it has a bed and running water. Really? Shouted Kiki, squeezing Gigi without thinking. If you don't like it, you can look for a better place tomorrow. Oh, I definitely won't do that. Thank you so much. But are you sure it's all right? I'm a witch, and it seems people in this town don't like us very much. Kiki hung her head again, but Osono took her chin in her hand, brought her head up, and gave her a wink. I've taken a shine to you. Don't worry. Plus, I think there's something a little bit wonderful about having a witch stay in our place. The flower house, which was next to the bakery, really was a flower storehouse, and it seemed completely coated in the white powder. After Kiki and Gigi relaxed and ate some of their food, they crawled into bed, exhausted. I might be a white cat by tomorrow, Gigi looked himself over and sneezed. But look, Gigi, there's a bay window that will get a lot of sun, just like you wanted. After such a long trip, Kiki was relieved that her coming-of-age day was finally drawing to a close. Hey, Kiki, should we look for a different town tomorrow? Gigi asked. I think I'm going to stay here a little longer. I wasn't welcomed exactly as I hoped, but the baker likes me, right? There might be another person who does too, don't you think? Well, yeah, there might even be 3. As Kiki answered, he soon was snoring the even breaths of sleep. And that is where we will end for today.
Thank you all so very much for watching, y'all. I really enjoy and appreciate your support. Like I said, you do not have to watch these videos when they go live. You're more than welcome to watch them on the YouTube channel. And I love and appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. Be good out there, y'all. See you next time.